Today, brought to you by Apia, the go-to insurance for retirees. Apia, get set, go.
Welcome back. Leading the news, National Cabinet will meet virtually on Friday. After the Prime Minister tested positive to COVID, let's go straight to Reece D'Alessandro, who has more in Canberra. Reece, power is going to be at the top of the agenda.
Yeah, it will be, DC. Friday was looking like the best option, given Anthony Albanese is due to travel to Papua New Guinea on Monday. After testing positive for COVID yesterday, his second time with the virus, the PM is working from home at Kirribilli, and he will no doubt be working toward lowering power prices with the states. The Queensland and New South Wales premiers have been reaffirming they won't support the PM's plan to cap coal prices unless their states are adequately compensated. But while they might not support the government's plan just yet, it would seem the majority of Australians do. Polling in 9 newspapers, the Sydney Morning Herald and The Age, shows 79% of people support price caps on utility companies. The challenge now is getting the premiers on board via video call, DC. Even if they do strike an agreement on Friday, it will be months before we all notice it on our power bills.
All right, thanks, Reece.
The Royal Children's Hospital in Melbourne is warning of delays after parents of sick kids were told to find alternative care last night. Isabella Stashkovsky is there. The hospital is battling a lengthy backlog.
It certainly is, Tracy. Good morning to you. And that is despite additional staff coming in overnight to help out. Right now, the wait time is still around 5 hours, although that is significantly better than last night when it was around 12 hours. And parents were told to avoid bringing their kids here if possible. This morning, at least 7 surgeries have been cancelled. And we do know that it could be the calm before the storm, that those challenges could continue to occur over today or even the coming weeks and months. Last night around 9 o'clock there were still 100 patients in the ED. By 1 a.m. that had only dropped to 90, but an incredible effort by staff, because by 7 this morning just 14 patients there. So it really does show what this hospital has done, come together, people coming in, volunteering to coming in on their days off. The CEO has though said there are many challenges, including a lot of category 4 and 5 patients coming in, so kids who don't necessarily need to come to such a major and serious hospital as this. So she really is urging parents to consider whether their child is sick enough to be admitted to the Royal Children's. Let's take a listen.
So it is actually a little calmer this morning in the ED. The waiting room is not as full of patients waiting to be seen, but it did take all night to actually work through those patients. It is absolutely safe to bring patients to our ED and to our hospital.
Tracy, the priority now for the hospital is to get additional beds. Last night, when the wait time was at 12 hours, there were no beds available, and a few have now arisen overnight so they can be used by families coming in. The other major challenge, of course, is staffing. We know every day at this particular hospital, 120 staff are off due to COVID, and recruitment for the future has been a major challenge as well. So just another challenge facing our healthcare system in Victoria this morning.
A tough situation. Isa, thank you.
The RBA is set to hike interest rates for a record 8th consecutive month when the board meets later today. Let's go live to Gabby Boyle, who's in Parramatta in Sydney's west. Gabby, this is horrible timing right before Christmas, isn't it?
It certainly is. Most of us are already forking out a fortune at the moment for presents, for parties, for Christmas, New Year travel, and now this. It is likely the Reserve Bank will raise interest rates when it meets later on this afternoon. This will be, as you said, the 8th consecutive month in a row if it goes ahead at 2:30 this afternoon. It will be a 10-year high, 3.1%, and here on the streets of Western Sydney, it is not being well received.
I am worried about the interest rates going up, more for the economy, because it affects everyone. Doesn't matter if it's home loans or businesses.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah, it's pretty concerning.
Many people watching very closely with that Reserve Bank decision later this afternoon.
They certainly will be, Gabby. Thank you.
Now to a Today Weather Alert. Queenslanders are being urged to stay safe as a heat wave grips the state. Andrea Crothers is in Brisbane. Andrea, how hot is it going to get?
Well, Tracy, you can certainly feel the heat start to get in here now. It was quite a foggy start here in Brisbane this morning. So the hottest parts of the state, that's going to be out in the far west in Queensland's Channel Country. Birdsville set for a top of 43 degrees today. Bedourie, Booyah not far behind, 42 degrees. And if you're up in the northwest, well, things are certainly going to be cracking the 40s there on the Mercury as well. As for the southeast, things will be slightly cooler, but not much so. The mid to late 30s here in Brisbane today, expecting to hit 35 degrees, Ipswich 37. Now these conditions, the hot weather, the humidity, only expected to intensify over coming days. So those who are vulnerable, particularly elderly, children, those with medical conditions or who may be pregnant, are being urged to keep cool where they can.
Northern parts of the country are absolutely sweltering through this severe to extreme heat wave. We do see heat waves through every Australian summer. Just to stay cool, keep an eye on your elderly neighbours and don't forget your pets and animals as well.
Now, Tracy, there will be some reprieve for eastern parts of the state come Saturday before the temperatures are expected to rise once again.
You can see the heat there already. Andrea, thank you.
NASA's historic Artemis 1 mission is now on the final stretch of its journey. The Orion capsule and its test dummies came within 128 kilometres of the far side of the moon. Doesn't that sound so cool? Orion will aim for a Pacific splashdown off San Diego on Monday. The far side of the moon is where I felt I woke up this morning at 3 a.m.
Dark side of the moon.
Yes, let's see where Sherry is. Time for a look at the final check of the weather.
Thanks, guys. Well, we're finishing up our morning here at Brunswick Heads. Definitely one to check off these summer holidays. Why not stay at one of the top 10 motels in Australia like the Brunswick here? But it's a beautiful day of weather ahead. We're heading for a top of 35 degrees here. But let's see what the weather is doing across the rest of the country. In Townsville, we're looking at a top of 33 degrees. The sunny coast, 33 as well. Brisbane heading for a top of 35. An early shower or two for Sydney, 23 degrees. Canberra staying dry today, 23. Melbourne, a couple of showers and 21. Hobart, pretty chilly, 16 degrees, partly cloudy and 26 in Adelaide. Perth heading for 29 degrees. And Darwin, a couple of showers, maybe a storm, a top of 35 degrees. Now, before I go, I've got one question and one question only. Dan, do I have the job?
You do not have the job.
Ah, in you go. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Oh, it's lovely. Happy summer, everyone.
The surprise of that is
Ooh,
lovely. Lovely.
Oh, good on you, Shez.
Tough gig for
Let's
her.
get to
I know.
What do you got?
Very quick hit of entertainment. Some of the late Christine McVie's personal items have hit the auction block and they fetched a very pretty penny. Her bass guitar sold for a huge $150,000. Meanwhile, someone paid nearly $85,000 for a dress. The biggest number of the night, however, was for a pair of wooden belonging to Mick Fleetwood, which sold for nearly $200,000. I don't know if you remember, those balls are the ones he wore on the cover of Rumours.
Those balls?
The album, those balls. And he, fun fact, he actually pulled those off a lavatory door after he'd had a few beers, and someone just paid $200,000 for those.
For those balls.
Those balls.
Those wooden balls.
Famous
Knocking
Mick
together.
balls.
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
Moving right along.
Yes.
You started this.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I did. Finally, Neil Diamond has taken to the stage during the opening night of his Broadway musical, A Beautiful Noise, surprising the audience with a live performance of Sweet Caroline. Take a look.
So good, so good, so good.
What a legend. Now, you wouldn't know it from watching that clip, but Neil actually retired from performing 5 years ago due to his Parkinson's diagnosis, so it's great to see him looking so well and sounding so great.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Good to see him again, and good to see. Thank you so much for your company this morning. Everybody.
Yes, absolutely. Time for Today Extra now with Tim and Belinda. Hey, guys.
Hey, team.
Good morning. Good morning, guys.
Can we just do another, oh, sweet
Caroline?
So good, so good.
Oh, so good.
Excellent.
We've seen it all morning, gang. Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow live from 5:30. Good morning to you. Well, summer is officially here, everyone. The first heat wave of the season sees temperatures soar above 40 degrees this morning for you. Crucial advice for communities to help keep home Homes bushfire safe.
Yeah, that is hot. Waging war against the palace, a fresh look and release date for Harry and Meghan's upcoming documentary. You don't want to miss it.
Also today, your essential summer listening guide, true crime, history and much more. The ultimate podcast for your next escape.
Plus, festive entertaining on a budget, from the food prep to the table settings, how you can make your dollar go further this year.
And Weird Al Yankovic is live.
Like a surgeon. Hey, cutting for the very first time.
The King of Parody joins us on his upcoming tour down under. That is all ahead this Tuesday, the 6th of December, 2022. This is Today Extra. It is great to have your company. Belinda, good morning to you.
Good morning. Can't wait for that.
I know, it's going to be a fun show.
Yes.
We are just 2 days away from what is arguably the most hotly anticipated release of the year, Harry and Meghan's bombshell Netflix documentary. And this morning, we've been treated to yet another trailer. Take a look.
It's really hard to look back on it now and go,